When you are getting married, you experience a magical moment filled with an abundance of joy, happiness, and love. We understand as a wedding photographer, located in Toronto, how stressful planning such an event can be. With the vast variety of photographers around, how do you even know where to start? What are the specific things you need to know when deciding on a Toronto wedding photographer? Prices range from the hundreds to thousands, but how do you know which one is actually the right one for you? Since the digital camera has come out, many people deem themselves to be photographers, many of whom advertise themselves as Toronto wedding photographers, when in actuality they haven't received one bit of training at all. These amateurs don't use professional equipment, and are often not insured. You would also need to note that they usually don't have access to a studio. This is the reason why choosing a professional wedding photographer is very important, as they will have everything as previously stated. I'm a Toronto wedding photographer, and I will help you with your decision. How do you start looking for a photographer? Well, there are many ways, but the two most popular ways are from word of mouth and search engines. Typing in wedding photographers will bring up hundreds of thousands of results, which can make it more difficult to decide. This is why searching for area-specific photographers is key. Being a wedding photographer in Toronto, my clients would often search the terms Toronto wedding photographer or wedding photographer Toronto. This would give you a more narrow list of photographers to choose from. You might also want to choose a photographer who specializes in weddings, though as they may be more experienced in that field, although it's optional. So how exactly do you choose a wedding photographer? If you are searching online, then please pay attention to the photographer's pictures and not their website. Many photographers often buy a nice, flashy-looking website, but their skills are way under the radar. Don't be fooled by these amateurs. Pay attention to the photos provided in their galleries. Also be careful when choosing a photographer from a professional trade organization, as some of the organizations only ask photographers to pay an annual fee to join. When browsing through the websites, make sure to check their pricings first before you book an appointment and consult with them. Your wedding may already be very expensive, and most would often look at cutting the cost in the wedding photography part to save money. But this is often a big regret that many people end up having, because their photos come out dull, not positioned right, and just plain ugly. Don't make that mistake. In my city, many make this mistake when they don't hire a quality Toronto wedding photographer. When consulting with the photographer, make sure you address the following. If they are insured, negotiate on prices. They would often be open to negotiation. What is included in your package? Do they outsource their services? Do they provide a written contract? Do they have backup equipment in case their main ones fail? Do they visit the site prior to the wedding? And if they provide online galleries? You also want to tell them that you want a digital copy to keep for your sake. You could also use this digital copy to send out to friends and family who could make it. Also, when you are talking to the Toronto wedding photographer you have decided on, make sure they aren't the type to impose their ideas on you, unless you ask them to, as this can be very frustrating to deal with. Imagine after signing a contract with a photographer you find out that they only want to do it their way, not something you'd want to deal with. The photographer would most likely be spending most of the day with you, so be sure you'll be able to get along with them as well. This will make the process much easier if your personalities match. Always remember to ask for the written contract with everything that's included in your package written in it along with the pricing, so you could save yourself the hassle. Remember, these advice is given to you from a Toronto wedding photographer, and you should be on your way to an amazing wedding. For more tips on choosing a Toronto wedding photographer, please don't hesitate to visit http://bangaphoto.ca